Good. Here we go. Kick. What's up, kick? Kick. What's up, kick? Kick. What's up, kick? Nice. Looking good. Looking good. There we go. All right, let's see. Do we have a top laner? Let's see. Nocturne and bot lane. They did a good job drafting. We'll just go with our strongest generically. Swain bottom. Interesting. Actually, pretty bad synergy. Katarina is really good, though. Let's try to dominate through this lane. Also, we can get Abyssal Mask with this pairing. So usually we're here. The extra regen. Ooh, cooldown, and I guess we'll find out what they go. Knock up. We've got Fear, Stun. Last stand would be for Nolan. Normally we go Shield Bash. It's Tryndamere. Okay. We have Slow, we have Charm. He's very much going to be on the all-in path. So I don't mind this plan, actually, and just going him for W. Going in for W trades. Iceborne Gauntlet will actually be really good against this team. Iceborne, Sunfire, things like this. Build tank. And we can go Abyssal. Kind of makes me want to go Grasp, though. I'm afraid that I'm going to lose the 1v1 if I go Grasp. I have to be really precise. I'll still have to push him in. Let's see, if we go Grasp... Press the attack is still like so savage for the whole game. Here we go. Let's do this. I want access to all of these things. I want the extra shielding, extra healing, everything. We have some amount of slowing on this team, so approach velocity should be pretty good. Could also go here. This would be extra Iceborne Gauntlet procs. And we do want to rush plated steel caps, so go for the win. Be right back. All right, let's see. What are we going to do with this design here? Iceborne plated steel caps all make a lot of sense. Rushing Iceborne wouldn't have been awful either, to just wait for the boost, but getting the early plated steel caps will give me a lot of play against Tryndamere. Give myself one little piece of this. One itty bitty piece.
Welcome to Summoner's Rift. 30 seconds until minions spawn.
Okay, he went for Tenacity. The Katarina versus Ahri. If Katarina can get away from the charm, she'll be in a good spot, but she can rarely ever go in when Nocturne's available. So she's very much going to be playing towards the other lanes. Snowballing bot lane looks like it's going to be preeminent plan for us, which means I can probably go for a level 6 dive down there. Then teleport up top, so I'll need to get a proxy off.
Minions have spawned.
They came in late together, huh? All right, I'm not going to get my my early prio that I wanted. Boom. Let's see, Tryndamere's going to mess it in for us. Good. All right. Perfect. I had to be scared about Nocturne being on this side of the map, and he may even just be taking these. I don't see the shadow though, so I should be. Yeah, there he is. All right. The thing is, he'll be kind of nervous about where to go, so Xin should just go and steal his jungle right here, and I don't need to give up anything. I can just let this come in. Even if Nocturne gets all 3 camps, all I'm going to do is get the minimum here to stop it from shoving in all the way. So, right, we're just going to cast just enough ease to make it so that this can't rebound yet. Just going to leave it right here. We're even using this. Oh, get off me, guys. Taking a couple hits. That's fantastic for us. That's it for us, and now we'll curate the rebound on our own terms. He's much lower. Fortunate. So Zin's going to get a full rebound here. Let's see if he tries to beat this. This would be a mistake. Alright, now we get to do a full shove, and there's nothing he can do to stop us. Even if Nocturne comes, we win the 2v1. Is he really going to try to hold this? Alright, that's coming back. So we're okay. So the question's going to be... I should have done this first, and I should have made sure that I had enough gold before I actually left. So he shouldn't be able to get this all in. Let's see, if he had max range... He's still going to get a better back than me. And it's just ever so slightly going to come here. So what I'm going to have to do is skip the next wave. Skip some of these last hits. No, actually this will be just outside. We're good. This is just enough. We want to make sure to keep it here. It is a cannon wave, and some of these took a little bit of damage, so it's going to be a little bit difficult. We should be able to keep this here. And he lost an entire wave already.
An enemy has been slain. An ally has been slain.
Good job by Alistar being there. You know, look at these, sir. The only prayer he has is if I screw up on this part. Here we go. That wasn't in turret range, that's a shame, but that was. These guys are struggling here, and I get to hold this. I can actually wait and just push 6 here. I'm gonna ward this. And once I push 6 off this wave, I'm actually going to be fine, and then I can go for my play down bottom, and I still have the chance to get top. So I'm going to give myself a nice extra lead in minions before I push it up all the way. Not using my shield, even though I could for fast pushing. I need the shield for the next wave. There's my ult. Now I have a big lead. Now I'm going to go take this cover of everything that I have here and use the E to get a fast push going. I messed it up. Ever so slightly. I probably just, you know what, I just didn't need to get that last hit. What's up, Alexander Mays? How you doing? Oh, this is perfect. They're engaging right now. Absolutely, this is perfect. Here we go. Go all in. We got one. We'll get the next, and we'll get set up for dragon. Oh, he's going for this. Okay. Good. Did they just pick up dragon? That's unfortunate. Okay. Anyways, that's a lot. They're going to get plates. No, they're not sticking around for plates. Maybe they can just cover top for me. So that is the patented level 6 gank. Bot lane. We'll rinse repeat when we get to level to minute 10 and we get the resets. Alright, doesn't look like they want to trade, so I'm just going to get the maximum here. And then I'll go teleport up top. And you can see Tryndamere really got nothing because he attempted a freeze. Now he's going to think about it a little bit too late. This would be ideal if he went for me right there. Should have teleported first and shop second. Just want to make sure that my shop, which has been giving me issues ever since the change. Okay. Bring you out right here. And we're good. It's not up top. You should be going to bot lane because of the missing flashes on the Swain. Swain no ult, no flash, but Swain's ult's already back up. But that is a timer that he's going to be looking for. Sure. You want to do this? You do not favored. Go for the extra health. Ult for ult. Now you're dead. Oh, I shorted it. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness, how did I mess that up? Mechanical error. You can have all the best plans and it still won't matter. I'm not. Nocturne's on bot side, so I'm free to proxy. Actually, I can go pick up this plate too, because this wave's pretty far away. No, we'll ship it. Now, there's some truth to just staying here, making sure that the Xin Zhao is in a good position. But I'm okay with this plane as well. Could go down bottom again for a repeat gank. But this is how we're getting the maximum here, and Tryndamere's not going to be able to stop these. When I say unable to stop these, there's no way that he could have stopped the turret from killing those minions before they would break the turret. Before they would break the plate. Ugh. AKA, he cannot tax me a plate there. Alright, so he's going to do the same thing, move off to the side. He doesn't have lifesteal, so he can't really take anything. If he had lifesteal, I'd be scared of him taking Krugs and things like this, but right now he's just looking for stuff in the river. He's looking for the juicy fruits. That's a lot of damage, my friend. Alright, there's this flash. Ult for ult, we're good. We'll just use this up top and dive. Oh, that's a mistake. Alright, never mind. It gave him sight of the dude, so it's not a mistake anymore. But we do want to kill this plate first, get the true damage afterwards. Actually, I want to leave this up. If Sin wants to take it, that's fine, but I want to go start contesting this thing.
Your team has destroyed a turret.
He can get the rest of this in, but there's no Herald, so there's really nothing to gain from coming over here. I do want Swain to go spy on this, though. Yumi, get with your team, get with your team. Here you go, jump over. Oh, she won't be able to see him. That's a neat little counterplay, that Yumi can't see Swain over that wall. That's looking. I'm just gonna shove this in so she gets all the way in. She should be able to pick that up. Execute, not bad. I actually don't want to give up anything to the Tryndamere here. Yeah, this is worth it teleporting for. Unfortunate right here. I just don't want to give him an extra plate if I don't need to. I shouldn't have even gone for anything, right? I knew that there wasn't gonna be enough time. So if I go up top, he gets 0 plates, so he doesn't get any of his gold scaling. Now I get to take another wave. This is you do not want to be inting to this guy. How does that happen? Unfortunately, Zin being off the map means we don't get to do anything. I feel like tabbies are good here. Yeah, tabbies are great. But also we have all the CC that's coming this way. Like, I might even want Merc Treads for later in this game. I don't know. This might be a mistake where I'm going right now. But Kai'Sa's alone. You guys gonna try? No. I'm Volley Bear. I am the Volley Bear. Tryndamere getting a double kill is really bad. Swain should not have been matching up against them. Maybe I should just continue to go up there. So the reason I didn't go tabbies was because I was going to be so high indexed on armor already. Like, it would have been so good for the early lane against these two, because I got such an early lead, I was able to just itemize these. But if I were in a panic spot where I had 1100 gold, it would have been totally fine. You know, I can just leave this here. I can take it, that's fine. I want to shove this one. Yeah, it's time. Alright, they're gone. 1 minute till dragon. So let's see. We get one more wave out. It's a stacked wave already. And it's a cannon wave as well. So we're like really well situated for this fight. That's right. Try to turn out the lights and counter engage? Not on my watch. We've got eyeballs and we've got brains. Dude, the W max is like so nice now. Alright, we got flash. We got this. Ready for this trick? Boom. And jump into it so I get the shield. I know, it's OP. I'm tempted to just flash on those guys. Alright, let's see. I want this Herald to be in the bot lane for sure. We want to break this, get as far away from the map from the Baron as possible, which gives me the most room. And once we're done with this, we'll go Abyssal Mask. Abyssal Mask will give us plenty of game against them. You know what? I think we have to abandon this play. I think we just have to take it for what it is. Good enough. Alright, that gives us this huge influx of gold. We're winning mid as well. Steamrolling, in fact. Trindamir's itty bitty. I'm liking where we're at. Time to start grouping. Where is it? Bound to be bot, right? It's bound to be on this Zinzao. No? Oh, that's weird. I couldn't see. Katarina, Kit Kat. Bait? Maybe we don't need to bait. Rum, oh, she dead. She's got no flash. Okay. This is just to give me a little buffer. I'll go to the rest of the team right here. No, they're not going? Alright, they don't want it. Come on, I'm trying to bait. Come on. So you can cast, if you're really quick and on 0 ping, you can cast EQ in response to headbutt and get everything. Oh shit, no Zinzao's in the fight. Okay, this is a fight he wins. We just have to go clean up the rest. I break turrets, that's what I do. Very important thing to do. Use your shields. Use your shields to tank turrets, especially if you're a tank build. 100% we go right here. I'm gonna pick up the blast cones on the way, make sure that we don't get rushed. I guess they won't take blast cones, they'll take this. That was a mistake. My thing should have been right here, but we can still take that blast cone. No, we're not setting a trap, we're just taking it. Cat can go kill him. If they wanted to file in one by one, good for them. I will be full health. We're getting ready to turn. Hold this spot. Okay. Alright, fine. Alright, this is really bad now. We could have committed to it. We needed Cat maybe to get there a little bit earlier. Now they have a lot of play against us. Yep, it's your B. So the safest play was just recall and come out, but we could have just taken it right away. Unfortunately, we had a couple different people like taking different paths, different things. Katarina went and pushed this way over, all the way over here. So these are all things that you can try to avoid. This continuation, though, they're low on spells, and Swain has come out of base and shopped, I believe. No Sonia's. Oh, 1 second. That's too bad. Luckily, it does mean base is getting ripped apart. Would have preferred something else, but we can go straight here again. Let's see. I do want this. I want this. So we're going to go like this and take hex gates to get out there quickly. That calculation did warp, and I should have just taken the safer plan based on the fact that we're on hex tab map, right? Just tanking this for the Xin. He can have it, and then he can take this as well. We're in, Cat. Where are you going? No, 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 no. We are here. 100% here. I just hold this spot. Alright, that other ward does not matter, so we, you know what, we put this right here. Keep it on the outside. They don't have vision on the inside, so don't hit it. If they want to come into us, then we're good. I'm just going to hold this aggro so that they know that I'm staying here. We hold position. Make them stretch. Put the onus of execution onto them. And we push top. Don't go mid. Do not int mid. There's an Ahri there that might kill you. Oh boy. Nice dive. I like it. Except for the fact that it's Yuumi took aggro. No, Yuumi. Taking aggro so they don't. Oh my. I turn off turret. Let's finish this off. It's only Alistar and we still don't have Yuumi, so we don't actually have enough to push in mid to end. We do need to take this. That's an unfortunate interaction that Swain needs to keep in mind. Easy. Stomperino, baby. I shield, I tank. Now I can walk off and take away the aggro from one since we have enough. I definitely don't want to die. Oop, okay. Thought I got out, but I must have gotten out and back in. They've got one person back up, but it's not going to be enough. It's just an Alistar. Clean. Yep, there we go. There's the inevitable post-game chatter.
But KT, they have.
All right, so here we go. Let me line up the camera, make sure I'm all good. I'll give people a second to get into. Give myself a little moment to eat. Make sure I'm fed. Way too big. This. All right, we'll pause. Do you want to see the beginning as they pull out? Get the lights on. Give people a moment to chat if they want to. If anyone wants to ask any questions before we get rolling, I'll start this in like 30 seconds. Let me catch up. This is a good matchup. Yeah, this guy picked Tryndamere. Alex Mays, thanks for the shout out on the logo. It took about 6 months of edits to get there, but we got there. Testing. Mic check. Mic check. That only means. And yeah, Ben, the academy was the $1,000 one, the summer camp academy. But yeah, so they were AP heavy, starting off with that Iceborne build and the early Sunfire means that basically crush Tryndamere. He was taking fights early that he had no business taking. There's really nothing for him to be doing in those spots, and yeah, he needs to evade way more, especially with that early lead. That gets exacerbated really early. The early armor, I could have gone plated steel caps if it were a tougher situation, but with the early wins, we can just turn that into Bomby Cinder. Then we got the double flashes on the kill in the bot lane, and then we're able to teleport top. So Tryndamere really got nothing, even though we paid multiple visits bot. We had really good timing on when we saw Nocturne bottom. We went for proxies in the top lane. So really good job for snowballing our lead. Those are the steps you have to take when you do have a lead in your lane to just completely take the game by the throat. Not always just about killing Tryndamere or keeping him out of the game. Although I did give him a wave and a plate back, which I maybe didn't need to. There was a plate that I reached for down in bot lane that I didn't need to go for. And in fact, when I teleported, he was already finishing that plate, and I was so close to getting my own that I could have just finished the plate and then teleported, or I could have done it earlier. So either option was better than what I chose. I should have taken a peek at top lane to actually see where that plate was at. It doesn't look like anyone has any questions about that game, so we'll just go. Happened. All right, we're good. No one's got anything from that game, so I will just go ahead and start. If you don't mind, Kick chat hasn't been working with Restream. If you're on Kick, do you mind just saying hello real quick? Just so I can confirm that we're here, that everything's working. Alright, that's about as good as we're gonna get. We got this rolling, lights are on, boom, ready to roll. Alright, here we go. So we've got Gen G versus KT Rollster. You're gonna recognize a lot of these people from the KT lineup. It used to be a lot of Afrika Freak. In fact, it might be 4 out of 5 used to be the Afrika Freaks. But plenty of tournament experience. This team is very, very good. 12-1 obviously needs to be pretty good. We know that Faker has been the glue holding together T1 because ever since his injury, they've been dropping like flies. So these two teams have really separated themselves amongst the field. Now they're playing for playoff position, right? They're basically locked into 1 and 2. So they want to get these wins on to try to get it. Oh my gosh. Are we seriously getting this as the game's beginning? Come on, guys. Delicioso. Now, we have Tristana being played mid, Jace to counter, Ivern to go. Now, the dive advantage is always going to be in favor of Ivern Tristana. This is a really good, strong pairing. You also have Renekton Ivern, which is exceptionally strong. Renekton can lead in, and rather than a Nidalee Spear, you end up with an Ivern Q that will follow up always. Also, the Ivern Q will allow Renekton to guarantee his stun always, so they both help each other. One hand washes the other. This is why this is a premium pairing together when you get Renekton and Ivern. So love the draft so far from Gen G for game 1. These guys are going to play a best of 3 series. That is what their season is like. You're going to see those 2 checkbox empty. So they're going to play best of 3 games to determine the winner. Is something I wish that we did in North America. Frankly, don't know why we don't. We also see Alistar Xayah, very nice pairing. Alistar has the highest base stats in the entire game, so expect him to try to take some all-ins early, especially at level 2, once Xayah can follow up with a root. So we're going to get Headbutt, Pulverize into QE from Xayah. Should be enough to 100-0 the Aphelios, despite all of the counterpicking from, or the peeling, I should say, from Lulu. We have Ghost, which is going to be really nice late because against double Marksman and Renekton and Ivern, Alistar, right? These are champions that can't really reach you. They can't help. You're fine fighting the 1v1 against the enemy carry, but with the other people in the way, you really just need to make sure that you're spacing yourself from the Ivern, from the Alistar, from the Renekton, and with all those threats, I really like the Ghost pick. Jace. How do I feel about Jace versus Tristana? Specifically with Maokai. What they're really trying to set up is this big front to back where they're going to have a lot of poke war setup where Maokai's going to be setting up saplings all over the place. And then you have Jace with the accelerated shock blasts. And you do have a counter pick with Jax into Renekton. Obviously, you can do counter strike into the stun at any moment. Now, there are a couple tricks you can do as Renekton where you can flash emotes or like, what is it, the dance. On this skin, it might be the dance animation that looks like the stun. We'll see if they ever get that, if you can ever get the full L play. But yeah, these guys will have the sound up. They make sure that they carry those sound effects. Now, look what the Tristana's doing, by the way. You prep the wave, right? Prep the last hits. You get 1 caster low, 1 medium health, so that you don't get stuck in this situation where all of your hits. This is something a lot of even high level Tristanas get wrong, and it's something that the solo laners have been much better about figuring out. Just making sure that you stagger those last ones. The melees will take care of themselves. You'll kill one, then kill the other. You can do the same trick where you do a medium health, a low health, and a high health, but that way you just don't get into those situations where you're missing HP. All right, here we go. Let's see if we get a right click. Oh, I would have liked to see a right click there from Chovy rather than an attack move. So if you click on them after the Q, you will follow to your attack range. And if you're melee, you'll go like right on top of them. You can just A click and be on the outside. You get a little bit closer with the right click. Maokai going for an invade. But with Jace losing all of his prio, he's not really going to be able to get in anywhere, which is going to force him into this execute. He does end up with some wards getting placed. Now you see, ever since the changes to the sweeping lens, now that the cooldown is longer, the duration is shorter, you see fewer of the junglers making the swap where they put out yellow trinket and swap to red. Instead, they're opting to keep the yellow trinket for longer. This is something you can implement into your games for sure. Here we go. All right, dash in, counter strike. I'm surprised Doran didn't opt for a second dash away. Now, the dash and the counter-strike on very similar cooldowns, right? This is one of those matchups where every point in those abilities is going to change whether or not you have multiple windows to go in. But largely, Renekton's not going to be looking to set it up on himself. He's going to wait for Ivern to go in. Jax is so strong, especially at level 6. And you see that you want the grasp, too, to make sure that all of these interactions, whenever Renekton goes in, it's going to be hit you, counter-strike, get ready to jump on you, land counter-strike, get a second grasp proc off, and that's how these pro players have been taking this Jax matchup into Renekton and getting the maximum out of it. You're rarely looking for the all-in, because every situation where you'd want to all-in, you're hanging yourself out to dry a little bit too much. So they use the grasp, they make sure that they're always healthy, double starter items from both of these laners. That's how important they're dictating, or they're claiming that this laning phase is. Double Dorn's item to just get every bit of an advantage that you can, squeeze them. And even if you're Renekton, The gold is less valuable on you than it is on the Jax. So if you can trade the fact that you're buying a second Doran's item for the fact that they're going to have to buy a second Doran's, you take that trade, right? Like Jax is going to scale more with gold for the late game. So anytime that you can get him to spend 450 on a non-scaling item, that's a great trade. That's a great position. Now, it does mean that Jax is probably looking to stay in this lane for a long time. He brought the biscuits, he's got the grasp, so he's feeling pretty comfortable here until Renekton can get a shop off. And basically, Jax is going to look to shop every time that Renekton shops. Now, in this game, Renekton's probably going to look for plated steel caps. A lot of that damage is going to be coming physical, even though Jax has about a 40% AP profile. You also have the Jace, you have the Aphelios that are going to be doing the majority of the damage in these front to backs. You don't really care about the Maokai poke as much as the Renekton, because your job is going to be go in, dive, get into position, get a good stun onto Aphelios or onto Jace, and for your team to get the pop off from there. Alistar will largely be on peel duty. We're going to have Ivern creating grass, which is actually a really nice interaction into these poke comps. Ivern just being very solid into poke, right? Saying, okay, you want to set up a standoff? Sweet, we'll do it behind grass. All right, we'll just put it onto whatever position. If you're trying to siege onto a turret, especially, that is the best case where Ivern is defensive. His bushes are much better into defensive sieges. If you're doing it into an offensive siege, there's a good chance that they get vision into it. Plus, if it's close to a turret, they're always going to have vision. Whereas your own bushes, when they're near your turret, you get vision inside the bush, and that makes the bush stay for the full duration, which I believe is 45 seconds. So you can really have these long, protracted sieges. As an Ivern player, you keep those charges for those situations. You're going to see fewer like random placements out where it's just, hiding an approach. You will see them occasionally, but they want to keep these charges up for when they get the protracted siege. Now, bot lane, again, as we see, it's a lot of Aphelios just ducking and staying out of range of this engage because the engage is very deadly. From the Alistar, you see both supports are 5, carries went 6. The supports spend some amount of time out of lane supporting them, and that means that the carries get the level spike by 8. And this is an adaptation that a lot of these teams have figured out. You want to have that level 6 that you're not susceptible to some of these 4v2 dive plays. You're much better off just for a moment giving solo experience to your carry and letting your support linger a little bit behind so that at least one of you is level 6 at this timer precisely. Okay? There are some iterations where we've talked about it on this channel before, the 630 push top with the jungler, bottom resets, they can even become part of this fight. Jungler comes over, you push the 7-minute cannon wave with mid, and then you go dive bottom. Well, the answer to that is to make sure that your carry is level 6. If you both share all of your experience, you'll both be level 5.5 at that window, and so you can't contest, right? You're both level 5. At least by splitting up the experience, you create that stagnation. It means that the carry hits level 6 just a little bit sooner, a little bit more health, and a little bit more access into a fight. And when you just weigh how strong your team is in whatever interaction, right, in that dive, the fact that one of you is level 6 is a tremendous advantage. All right, so here we go. Jax was able to sneak a recall in for Sheen and Longsword and has been actually taking over the lane because of that. We have the Iron Spike Whip, which will be beneficial for the Conqueror. The all-ins will favor the Renekton for sure, but you can see this Grasp plus Sheen playstyle, how effective it is that Jax was able to glean a little bit of an advantage for himself, get better dives in. He's going to have a better recall. No, he opted not to take it, so he's going to stay out here on the map. Now, the next window is going to be in 3.5 minutes when these teleports start coming online. You're going to start seeing some dives in bot, especially if it's going to be Renekton. Jax will always look to counter, or Jace will counter, and they'll let Jax just get free push. But expect BDD to hold onto his teleport for that situation. Now, Tristana always has the push threat against Jace. Has the all-in. You can see how strong Renekton is into this matchup, even when he's lower health. The fact that he can just go for the all-in with an ultimate. Now he's going to use his ult here as a way to clear the wave. Daisy's going to hide in the bush. Jax has to know what's up, but basically Doran's just using the ultimate as a way to get a better recall off. The problem is that Jax is going to be able to hold a freeze here and going to get a better half level worth of minions for himself out of it. It looks like he opts not to freeze, instead going for clearing the river vision. He could just take this wave and then go back on himself. But he says, all right, I'm okay with this. 14 seconds behind Renekton's not enough time for Renekton to do serious damage here. I don't know if I agree with that. I think he should have taken that wave before going. It was there for the taking. There's nothing to be baited. The Renekton ult was down. All right, here we go. Big fight. Fighting over Herald. We see the advantage here. And they get the all-in. Now, one of the interactions that we didn't talk about was Ivern versus Maokai. Ivern is going to empower the saplings all game. That is a recourse that the Maokai can have. For that reason, Ivern could look to separate his bushes to make sure that the team can jog in between one and another, force the Maokai to play at least on those 8-second intervals to try to get more saplings into each bush. Now check out the vision that we have. Blue team has it on the 40th vertical on the left side. Right, this is something that they did in preparation for the Herald. This, I believe, is red side vision, right? This is everybody. See the knockups onto Jace, they get the charge, but it's not enough. They get the kill onto Chovy. Chovy's been having himself one heck of a year, right? 13-0, basically being an unstoppable force and immovable object in that mid lane, constantly gapping all of his opponents. But BDD is no slouch. BDD known as part of that trinity of new generation top laners that came in. Each one was supposed to supplant Faker. BDD was the first one. Then you had Showmaker and then Chovy. They just came in 1 year after another. I believe they won successive Rookie of the Year. Now this is interesting. Static Shiv on Tristana. So you can use this to exacerbate the wave clear issue. It also means that she really doesn't need to spend any time on waves at all. Generally, this does give out some amount of combat stats. And you have to be careful about this sort of interaction, right? You've got Static Shiv versus Eclipse. This is where Jace takes over this matchup, where if you stand too close to the wave, you're going to get punished. And there's no longer any all-in threat from the Tristana, because Jace will just take you, knock you back out of your jump, and go. Now, we did see an interaction that happened last week, where you can knock Tristana out. If you're fast and she's on top of you, she can go sometimes for an extra bomb proc, right? You go attack plus W. The W just in place will be almost instantaneous, but then the Jace can get that knockoff. We'll see if an interaction like that comes up. Keen looking, again, just to take Grasp plus Sheen procs over and over and over. So hopefully you guys take something out of this top lane matchup, right? How to take Jax and get the absolute maximum out of this matchup. Now, Alistar plus Ivern coming over means that we're definitely going to get this turret being pressed out. The Shiv plus the wave clear it gives also helps this team a little bit for being able to actually break bases. We talked about the siege a little bit and how Ivern's going to be really good into the anti-siege of the Jace Maokai. But you also need to be able to threaten the turrets, and Xayah gets a little bit close, a little bit uncomfortable. Tristana will have a little bit more range here. Look at that. Jax baiting out the ultimate, is able to take the whole wave for himself now as well. Now he can choose to get either proxy farm or he can take west side quadrant, especially with all the fight happening by the dragon. I expect to see Jax just start taking camps. Instead, he's going to start walking over. He's got no teleport. So they say, let's just go over, help with river vision. I don't know that this is a better option. Perhaps he doesn't know about the timers in the jungle. But Ivern timers are always weird, right? That is one of the things, one of the pros and cons to the champion, is that you never really know what the timer is going to be with Ivern, because they can be so unpredictable with their path. They can loop first and then come back and collect, or they can smite right away and go for invades. They can go for a lot of unexpected paths that get them to a fast level 4. All right, Maokai covering their back. I don't like where you put that sapling. They do see this a lot, right? So you used to see a lot of first strike Maokais. You're seeing more and more aftershocks because it allows you to do exactly this. empower the take, right? When you're going in, all that siege doesn't matter unless you can actually turn it into pressure under the turret. Now Maokai, by going Aftershock, basically has a guaranteed amp on getting it. He'll be able to proc it at will. Not just that, but he'll be able to guarantee that he's the one taking aggro under turret. So he's going to get the Aftershock, then he'll walk under turret, team will come up and take the turret basically without any contestation. If Smite gets used, no. Smite was used on Wolves, or it was already targeting. I don't know. It's tough to see which things are actually working in the client. It looks like the green marks are coming up because we see Raptors. All right, Alistar diving in, using his strength. Jack's strength as well, using the flash. We're going to go for the full front-to-back peel here. Xayah is very strong in this situation, but there's not enough strength. They're taking too much damage to start. Good flash by BDD to jump on the other side, but he's still going to get isolated. Now look, let's see if he can reconvene to his team. The front-to-back has to match. They have to be afraid of this Jax right now. He's going to have counter-strike, but no leap strike, so he can't quite get on. Nice little play, flashing under turret to get Cuz to take aggro, but somehow Maokai did not use Aftershock in that entire iteration of the previous part of the fight, which means he does have it. So even though Chovy flashes under turret to get Maokai to take extra damage, it's all for nothing because the Aftershock is too strong. And we're seeing how good this Jax is into Renekton, into this game where you have Lulu to help buff him up. These double marksman comps, right? The ease of execution is always a little bit tougher. They need to be proactive on the sieges. It's going to be tough to get that, though, with Jax being this big. All right, so no, he procced it right there. Wow, how did Aftershock come up in time? I guess it did. The fight did last this long. We see double teleports. Unfortunately, they go to two different marks, so the enemy team knows that both teleports are coming in. They start making a plan. They do get the turnaround kill on BDD. C pays. Boom. All right, there we go. Another Aftershock. That really surprises me, honestly. The fact that Xayah was unable to get another route there, very unfortunate. Should have been able to. Tough to keep your cool when everything's barreling down on you, but absolutely could have been in a position to get Maokai rooted under turret. That would have been enough to get the kill. The Aftershock was wearing off. All right, 1-4 with a 1.5k gold lead in favor of KT. They're playing phenomenally. Keen is playing out of his mind. No complaints for aiming in Lehens. BDD taking the aggro when he has it, even though he was down 20 CS. Knowing what his thresholds are. We do see the tier fully stacked up, which means that he's almost definitely going to finish Mirror Mana second. And we'll see if he goes into something like Black Cleaver or if he goes into more lethality. For the all-out poke. All right, KT putting some priority, using the time before their recall to get these wards down in the southern quadrant. You see where they're placing them too, right? These are anti-Renekton wards. You see them when they're on the 20th horizontal, right? Just one layer into the map from the bottom up. Those wards are placed for anti-flanking, right? You don't want the Renekton to sneak past you beneath the pit and to flank around you. Gen G doing a good job knowing that we want this avenue. We want Renekton to be able to path here. So they get the control ward into the Tribush, but they did not spot the one that's in the Krugs. So that is one avenue that Renekton will not be able to take to get this. Now, another thing that you'd like to do is get people into the green bush, the beach bush, right over here, right? That's a great spot for someone like a Kennen or a Renekton to be, but also because of this position and frankly because of the fire map, the infernal map, it's very, very hard to get in there. You don't need to reach as far around either to get around these big flanks. So there is some positions where Renekton can feel very strong going in and just taking a halfway path, not needing to burn his E to get around. Now here we go. This is what we were talking about. Protracted siege. They're going to hold this area. They're going to use Daisy as a front line. And the threat of Alistar knock-up. Jace is going to be throwing as many spells in here as possible, as his Maokai. And you see, again, a second bush being popped out so that they have another point that they can jump in. Let's see if they take the engage. Here we go. They got it. Keen is being engaged on. That's a huge win for Gen G. Lulu having to use Wild Growth, and it's just not enough. You see, just like that little surprise, they're able to keep the vision for themselves. Not enough defensive proactivity. Also, you see these bushes here. With the control ward here, they're going to stay in with the... Oh! Whoa, that's going to be a fight turner. Good job by Alistar turning to get something, but it's too much. That big chunk. You see the Jace getting that massive damage out. What I was about to say, right? Control ward in one bush and then control ward into the constructed bushes so that you can keep vision in the bushes even if you step out. Because again, once you step out, they're going to drop. But if you keep vision, it'll stay up for about 45 seconds. Later on, you can actually connect those bushes so that your red bush will see in and cover everything is another way to do that. But most times people are going to opt to make a line away from the pixel bush, right? And you get that gap, then you can be the one to choose whether or not you come in or out. And if the other enemy team is able to get vision in one part of the bush, they're not just automatically getting it everywhere, right? So you see that little gap. So let's see the chunk right here. Jace, I love his position, staying in fog, getting a big shock blast, right? It's on to delay, no big deal here. It's the ones on to Peanut and Chovy that matter, right? All right, 4-man, big knock-up. Aphelios ult to get everybody halved. This is the power of Aphelios, right? A lot of these other AD carries that have steroids and finishers, they're good in this situation, but Aphelios has front opening damage. Chovy, unfortunately, dodges, and that's what gets his teammate killed, and they get wiped. Now, you don't expect Chovy to be good at tanking, but when you have Enchanter or double Enchanter on your team, something like Ivern plus Alistar who's got extra heals, it's okay to take those hits when you have the shield, right? You are a de facto champ. And this is something that's always been the knock on Chovy, is that he makes mistakes like these in these big fights. Very hard to get that right. All right, so I don't discredit him for it, but it's something that if we're talking about the coaching point, is if you have a shield, you can become the tank. And especially in these double marksman comps where you need to provide threat somewhere with auto attacks, you need to be willing to go out there with your enchanters supporting you and just be the front of the damage, knowing that they've got you. Alistar's ready to counter engage anything that comes in. So go up and take the damage the way that a tank would tank up for a turret, for example. Just go in, walk it up, take the shields. These AD carries tend to be really good at it. They know that they've got enchanters that will back them up, and the AD carries tend to be really good in Korea about taking turrets, knowing that they've got exactly enough time to take, let's say, 2 turret shots. They walk in with a shield, they go hit, get a third hit out while the turret's coming out, and then they back out. Anyways, let's get back to the game. We got a teleport coming in here. If Jax was able to get the reset, we do have vision, and again, this is where we're saying defensive vision under the turret makes it much harder to capitalize, but here's the upfront damage from Aphelios. Again, the flamethrower ultimate dealing so much damage, and Lulu able to get the EQ onto the backline. That's actually unreal that she was able to get that kill. Good job by Renekton actually peeling the whole team right here. Stepped back. That's a misclick that's going to cost them the rest of this fight. Renekton's instinct was to click backwards, but didn't realize how strong they would be right there. Could have continued to go forward. Again, team needs to get used to playing with an Ivern on their team, right? You were just a little bit tankier. You got a little bit more stats, especially when you've got Staff of Flowing Water. You've actually got that extra mobility, extra ability to get into these fights and get the cooldowns. So a little bit where Gen G needs to improve their execution here. Still no complaints from KT. Love what they're doing. There you see the Maokai set up, and a lot of times they're going to go with Radiant Virtue, Even Shroud, or sort of combinations. You see Cuz taking the aggro, 1 more hit. Look at that, full 6 hits, 2 of them with the Aftershock, 3 of them with Aftershock, and 3 more hits afterwards. Basically doesn't take any damage. He can drop it at will as well, right? Take some amount of aggro, and then just use Twisted Events or the W to drop it. Good job by BDD showing some pressure there. No real chance that they're going to threaten on top of you, and it stops them from chasing after your teammates. All right, 6.5k gold lead. All of the inner turrets are gone. That is the biggest source of gold. When you're trying to snowball these leads, the first thing that you should go for is go for these inner turrets. That's exactly what KT has done. Now they're going to start setting up for this anti-siege, right? Dragon's coming up in 30 seconds, Barons in 2 minutes, so there's no real threat of being split or giving up the Baron, so expect them to just take this position for themselves. Maokai is a little bit weaker than normal because of the fire map. He's unable to get all of the saplings that he would normally be able to get out, but he is this full tank build with plated steel caps into double AD carry and Renekton, so he's feeling kind of invincible. And we see this about these damage types, right? About how these comps are going to scale. If you're Aftershock Maokai with all this armor, what are they ever going to do to you? There we go. Radiant Virtue. They're opting not to take this. They absolutely could have right there. They're saying, you know what? We don't need to. We don't need to coin flip. And this is something that Korea does better than every other region in the world, saying, you know what? We're ahead. We don't need to coin flip the all-in, but saying, hey, let's just back out. We're still winning. If nothing happens, we win. The only thing that we could possibly lose is if we misevaluate and throw away our lead. So instead they don't. They take it patiently. They get 3 kills for themselves, and this will be the win. Shout out to Keen, Cuz. I mean, all these guys, literally everyone did their job great. Aiming, making sure that he had the flamethrower ultimates for these team fights, realizing that against these double ADs, the extra splash damage would be what they would need to take the fight. Flashing in on Lehens to get the polymorph because they know that they have enough gap close with the Jax and continuation stun. So really, really clean game from KT Rolster. This is what we were talking about. They are playing clean. Get a little drink. I'll start game 2 in about a minute. Excuse me. All right, here we go. Game 2. We've got Azir, so already we're looking at some hyper scaling. On top of that, we've got Alistar, Kai'Sa, and Renekton. So we've got the entire tier list is present on the KT roster. So they are already heavily favored. Chovy on LeBlanc, going to try to get these gap closes in, going to try to abuse Static Shiv. These pros are good at pushing the limit. They make sure that they stay on that threshold of the level versus the game to make sure that Static Shiv is coming in. Now, I believe this game was played pre-patch, so the values are attainable if you are able to stay at a high enough level. Once you die twice, you're basically off the map or I don't want to say off the map. You're off the map long enough that you lose the XP necessary to keep up with the HP on the caster minions to be able to one-shot them. But we do see that there is no DMAT. All right, so Chovy is going to stay on the edge of that threshold of experience to make sure that they always have it to be able to play for it. It's in your games. Most of the time, you should just bring minion dematerializer and put two of your charges into the back line so you can always kill them. At least one. And then if you're doing well in the game, then the game script will favor you. You'll be okay. Now, Aphelios Rakan going for a little early poke. They did give up the bottom side quadrant, so they have to wonder if there's 3 people here. They did just enough to get the HP lead on the minions without doing anything else, right? And that's what they want to do to make sure that, hey, if this is going to be bad and 3 people are here, we want to be able to back off and let this wave come to us. But if it's just 2, we want to be able to be the first team to hit level 2. So you see them expertly playing that dynamic. Now it's going to be Rakan joining the fun. Everyone's going to be full throttle trying to get to level 2. The ward is left. Poppy Sejuani's going to get the bad news that Poppy has taken 2 camps here, unbeknownst to them. So this is a huge win for KT. The fact that Sejuani has to skip over 2 camps to get here, and they have full knowledge, so they'll have the timer. Now, something Peanut could do is immediately go gank bot and then come back for the Krugs. But I anticipate that what he's doing is taking Krugs to make sure that the timer's going to be okay. Because Raptors and Red are going to be so different than they normally would have been on this clear path, right? But if you're the Sejuani and you're in this position, you can skip that camp, go for the immediate gank, go for the win in bottom. It doesn't need to result in a kill. It just needs to result in a tremendous HP advantage plus a crash. Then you come back, you take Krugs, your bot lane resets. Sejuani can go back to top side while bot lane returns to a wave that's crashing to them. And then Sejuani can path bot again. And you create a win for yourself 2 minutes down the road. So a little bit of a missed opportunity there for Gen G. It's not infallible, right? You do have to worry about Poppy being in the vicinity, and you don't want to get into these 3v3s, especially Rakan versus Poppy is a tremendously bad situation. Ooh, Chovy. Whew, fast hands. Fast hands. We see how the Q flash from Alistar into the flash from Chovy. These guys are so sharp, man. Just every single iteration, every movement that they make. But Lehens does overstep. He thinks that because of the sweeper that he's going to have a moment to catch them. But Rakan was spot on catching him on the edge of the frame. And now we see all these counter picks coming in. Or I should say the chain CC coming in. Where if you pick a fight, Alistar's totally fine into Rakan. If Rakan engages, Alistar can turn it. But if you catch Alistar out by himself like this, and the combination of the chain CC from Sejuani and Rakan is going to be enough to get that kill. Now top lane, Renekton is heavily favored against K'Sante. He's going to be kicking some butt over here. As you can see, already has a 10 CS advantage for himself. K'Sante's going to try to hold on to this to exacerbate the issue as much as possible. And you see that based on that top ward, they think that Poppy should have been there by now, based on full clear versus full clear. And since they didn't, they don't see it. And here's the lonely moment for Peanut. Good job by Delight being on the edge, right? The edge of this bush, you can still see over here. A little bit of a misplace potentially from Lehens, right? You want to hug this bottom wall. It does mean that there's fewer dodging directions, but as you could see, that one spot, Rakan was able to see you. You could not see him. Rakan gets the engage. That's the difference between getting a kill and not at this level. Oh, great job by Doran. Doran actually holding his own despite just having the 2 cloth armors versus the Conqueror Renekton. That should be a situation where Renekton's in a really good spot. Now here we go. We've got nothing from Chovy. No flash. The flash timer is still down. We see the flash and the W from Poppy to catch up and stop the dash. That is how fast these guys are. Chovy going with Alt and WR to get away, and Poppy flash Ws to get into the path to get the knock up. That's enough to get this secure. Now, this static shift build, I kid you not, right? If you do not stay on top of the level curve, if you fall behind a little bit, it starts to feel really bad when you can't one-shot the backline minions. So we'll see if that threshold comes about or not. Now, Azir versus LeBlanc as well. Basically, LeBlanc's going to look to punish Azir every time that he casts Q. So what Azir's going to try to do is stay out of range of the dash, use the soldiers to push the wave without presenting a target. And the AoE clear will be stronger for the Azir until the static shiv is picked up. Here we go. Perhaps BDD should have realized that there was more of a window here. Good chain CC, beautifully done. Lehens making sure to get the stun off right as the overlap comes up. With no flash available and potentially another dash, you're okay to wait until that animation because you can stun to interrupt the second dash if it comes to that. So better to be slightly late than to be slightly early. But that's a very narrow window, right? You have to be sure that they don't have flash, and you have to be sure that you are 0 ping able to respond to another dash. Now Kai'Sa also going to be going for the static shift build. We expect it to be into the AP, but sometimes we get into the Ginsu's Rageblade. Ginsu's Rageblade is the faster evolve for the Q. But Luden's plus Nashor's Tooth and Static Shiv makes her a tremendous all-around threat. Basically good in all different ways. So for that reason, I prefer that build. Prefer Luden's over the Night Harvester because mana does become an issue. There is a build where you can go with Manamune, but it delays the spikes too hard. So you would have to know that your team is definitely going to 35 minutes, right? Because you're talking about 4 items now before you come totally online. And you don't really you just can't really afford for that to happen. You can also go for Navori Quickblades, which is another iteration, which is one that comes on a little bit sooner, but doesn't have all of the endgame oomph of the W in these siege situations. Now, endgame team fight shape. We've got Renekton and Poppy that can both be the hammer to the anvil, with Alistar playing front to back. Azir and Kai'Sa both able to reposition into fights. A lot of times what we're going to see with this Azir-Poppy combination, why it's so incredibly good, is Azir can go early game and shuffle people back into the Poppy, and then Poppy can just slam them into the wall. And so a lot of these team fights should look like that, right? It's going to be Azir being more proactive, a little bit tough to get onto LeBlanc at times, but it should be pretty easy to find Aphelios. And so KT, we talked about their meta comp just being out of this world. Like, they basically got top line meta champions in every position, and their comp is good. So, you know, this is going to be an uphill battle for Gen G to win. They already have one advantage, just outplaying the early game. Even despite Peanut falling behind, the fact that they're able to get a more impactful kill. Getting that pick onto Alistar, right? Anytime you kill half of a bot lane, you're basically shutting off the other half as well, right? There's no way Kai'Sa's ever going to be able to step up, and you see this right now. Kai'Sa versus Aphelios. With the early Noon Quiver to get the early clear advantage and Berserker's Greaves to be able to reposition. Aphelios is just holding this freeze. Has the red gun. Ooh, actually, let's go with this a bit too soon. Would have preferred to keep that a little bit longer. The melee line is going to get caught up here. Ooh, flash in, but it's not quite enough. It is Poppy and not enough to disengage. In fact, does the opposite. Actually gives Sedrani a way out. Might have seen a world where Cuz could E to slam the Sejuani into his own turret and get some extra play that way. Not that it would have made a huge difference because of the Aftershock, but at least a little bit more HP. Poppy trying to get the full disengage. Now check this out. We do have a proactive play. Kai'Sa Renekton in top lane. This is a rotation that these teams are very good at. When you're going for a Rift Herald rotation, you should always bring your AD carry up to top lane and try to get them to be part of this kill. But Pays accurately assessing that it's time to break his freeze and start going for the crash, gets it. Perhaps I may even give him credit. That time that I said that I would have liked him to hold on to the wave just a split second longer, he may have been calculating that he wanted the melee line to go under turret so that this crash would be easier, right? So it's sort of like a rock paper scissors. Hey, I'm freezing. Enemy team says, okay, you're freezing, so we'll Rift Herald and we'll rotate. It's like, okay, you're going to Rift Herald and rotate, which means I want to crash, but I want the biggest crash possible. And the biggest crash possible is only attainable by letting the melees sink in under the turret while my wave stacks up. And then I get to crash a wave back out to you. Normally the answer to that is to go shuffle over one of your solo laners to go pick them up. Also going to be heavily favored in a fight if it does break out. Something like Renekton into Aphelios would be great, but you're using a little bit of their attention up in the top lane. But we see, you know, they get the full crash out and a plate from Aphelios does not out-tempo the entire team moving. And this is what we always talk about. The team making an objective play together, doing anything together will always outscale one person doing something individually. And in that case, LeBlanc got a wave. Aphelios got 2 waves and a plate. But it's still not enough compared to the team doing the rest. Oh, Poppy's so clean. They're going to win this now. With Rakan knocked out, they're going to go for the all-in front to back. Aiming's going to take this fight. Absolutely takes it. Keen is still exceptionally strong. Doran is unable to get the rest of the knock of the peel to go over the wall. Really wanted to go over the wall to get himself a way out. Instead does not. And KT just slams the door shut on the pit there. And we're seeing, oh, big engage into knock up. Boom. Chovy is dead as well. And this game is well and truly in the hands of KT now. All of the progress that they made at the expense of that top lane and money in pocket in inventory is now going to go into the hands of KT. They're also going to get back the plates that they lost. Alistar with the big knock up. You see the bounce house that is Alistar plus Poppy. Aiming, flashing forward. Good. I love it. Had to be just in time, right? Because enemy AD carry is coming. So they get, I'm going to say the minimum there, a little bit more than the minimum. They're able to go push past the turret and get an extra kill, but they don't pick up any extra plates. They don't get the other wave. Check out this interaction. How is he allowed to get this off? Wow, minimum channel time. Sejuani's not able to react in time. You see that Peanut tried to stop, but Cuz literally had the minimum amount of time to get to the big knockback. That's actually something I've never tested, whether or not Rakan's travel time is short enough to stop Poppy if Poppy starts channeling first. I imagine Rakan can do it from point blank. But it's gonna be tough. If you know in the comments, please let me know. Because normally we always talk about Poppy being hard counter into Rakan, so you know, it is important to think about all the things that Rakan can do back. I suppose Poppy could always just turn on her W before casting the ultimate. That would be the next way around it. Khan unable to get the rest of that. Wow, that's crazy. All right, Lehen's turning on the ultimate to break the leash. And here we go. Pays is about to get shut down right here. Boom, everybody. It's so tough to fight in these corridors, right? You're playing against Azir, Alistar, Poppy. They can literally bounce you into any of these walls, creating extra time for knockups. Plus, they're not creating the distance from the knockup, right? They're all smashing you against a wall. And now you're going to be in the tough spot where now Renekton is going to be big enough to become the wall, right? He doesn't have the Iceborne Gauntlet. Kassante's going to try to control space as much as possible, but Renekton's looking to just be a menace, be as threatening as possible in the backline. That's why he goes for this Gore Drinker, to just top off his health a little bit more. Make sure that he's always full health when it comes to it as well, right? That's a big deal, making sure that you're always full health. That's something that the Gore Drinker builds will do. You don't see much Gore Drinker outside of pro play. In solo queue, you just don't have the coordination to take advantage of, hey, I'm full health and I can get the maximum out of this. And now where is Gen G going to go to get gold? There are no more plates on the map. They cannot contest for objectives. Top wave is frozen. They cannot really even pass through river because of the engaged strength of the Poppy and Alistar. And so it's going to be really tough for Gen G to find anything. Really, LeBlanc is going to have to fly through these lanes, get pushes going with the Static Shiv. Also, Ops. Oof, this is usually a bad sign. Ops for the Mercury Treads to avoid the chain CC and all the magic damage that comes up. But look at the amount of damage that's physical anyways. And a lot of this comes from knockups. So you may not even be able to get any benefit out of Merchants. God, look at this. Doran unable to move for 4.5 seconds. Beautifully juggled, and literally juggled, right? Those were all knockups. Pop, up, up, up. It's like a team of soccer players, just like playing catch with the ball. Never let it touch the ground. Getting a strangle hold on this position. So like we were saying about Chovy with the LeBlanc build, all right, I'll see if we can get an eye on it, but without DMAT and being slightly behind, I don't think she's going to be able to one-shot. If she can, she's on that last little hairline where every time that the minions get stronger is going to be a problem for her. Good job here by Lehens. Good chain CC. W against the wall. Uses it to get pulverized. That wall was probably suboptimal. The idea being that you can put the turret up and just continue the fight with your CC and get the turret to deal some of the damage. Might have been able to do it a little bit more diagonally to just like really shut them off without putting them on the other side of the turret. All right, Chovy, there we go. Static Shiv is down. I want to see whether or not he's able to one-shot the wave, but we're never going to see it because they're just going to get these chain CC knockups. That was a flash engage from Alistar, flash pulverize, turn around headbutt. What's left for them? Herald is down. Radiant Virtue online for the Poppy, the best tank item in the game. Not Jack Show, as a lot of people tend to think. If you need to deal a little bit more damage, Jack Show's totally fine. Alistar just taking over this game with these insanely high base stats. Every single fight. Chovy just not finding any windows to do anything either, right? Still trying to charge up, right? You get 90 stacks from a full length W plus move spell and W back. And move, you'll be sitting at 90. 70 if you do it to the minimum. And 90 if you get that maximum, you get that extra movement in. What are they even contesting for? They can't think that they're winning a fight here. Are they thinking it's just going to get worse? And so we want to take this Even Shroud, Bami, Cinder, Sejuani, try to get the most for it? Okay. If the result is this, great, right? You push him out, you get enough pressure on this wave. LeBlanc able to eviscerate the wave and go forward. They get a turret for themselves, all right? Didn't think that they would have any spot to aggress on the map. Now, a lot of this was because KT was staying on the map. They got a lot of small advantages. They used it to get the dragon. So the onus is on Gen G to spend money and try to take spent money fights above all else. But like right here, for example, like Sejuani got to shop, right? The downside is she's dead. Obviously, an enemy team got more gold and they got Rift Herald. But Sejuani did get to shop. So when you do get back into that dragon situation, you do not want to linger. Because Sejuani did shop, right? You don't know, you haven't pressed tab, you haven't got a chance to evaluate whether or not you're in a good spot. So I like KT's choice to just give up the bot turret instead, get shops in for themselves. And you see this little blip right here? This is the retaliation turret, but expect the curve to now go even steeper down. They could try to shut the door on everything and try to shut the door on the turret. But if you do, then suddenly you're wondering, all right, when are we actually going to get to shop ever? Does Sejuani just kind of get in our face with this Bami Cinder build and just stop us from ever recalling? And do we give up too much pressure around the map? So I do like their choice. Taking stock of items, looks like we're going to have a Liandry's into Nashor's Tooth. Nashor's Tooth does not proc on the Sand Soldier's damage, but it does give Azir a couple stats that he really wants. He gets the extra ability haste, he gets the attack speed, and in those moments where your Q goes errant and they start fighting you, you still get damage from the auto attacks, which is something that he absolutely wants. Lehens with a frame perfect stun break and holding off. Look at this, zone control, 3-man pulverize. Renekton's can have a field day with this as well, right? They're good job focusing damage. Renekton actually taking a step back, and they actually don't go to finish this. Interesting. Wait, Cassante, what was that? What? He just teleported from the safety of above his tri-bush. Oh man, they must have miscommunicated that. We're going to see a replay for sure. Now let's see, 2 people holding down the fort, Poppy and Keen, the 2 tankiest guys on the team, are happy to take this responsibility. But what is the team going to get back in retaliation? Good job by Poppy, not just blocking the dash, but also immediately getting that Q off in response, so you get both halves. Q2 being the big difference maker. If you are Poppy and you land Q2 in these fights, then you have a tremendous advantage, right? So much of her damage is loaded into the ability to get the second half of Q off. Now, do they start it off again? Lehens this time. We've got the Nashor's Tooth completed. We are going to see Rage Blade from Kaisa, and we went for the on-hit build, largely because we have triple AD, or triple melee, I should say. So they want that extra time with auto attacks. Doesn't need to go into a full prong poke war, especially with Azir. A lot of it's going to be all in. So something you can do with Kaisa in these situations. Oh, flash into the knockup, into Poppy, and there you see it. When Azir uses flash, right, you're always going to connect, you're always going to scoop, and Poppy will always be able to knock you into the wall. Those are coded favorably so that the synergy is always there. And you see that they're just able to, like, any opening, like if you try to contest this Baron, this is what's going to happen. Now, if you're Gen G, what you can try to do is engage backline as Azir or Alistar engages frontline, right? So they sort of get this off. Doran is able to get a massive kidnap off, but they weren't able to get enough to follow. And now you see the damage from the Kai'Sa, my goodness. Taking a Sejuani and ripping them apart. Now look at all these Merc treads. You have stun from Poppy, stun from Renekton, damage from Azir and slow from Azir, damage from Kai'Sa, stun from Alistar. I guess I see it. But now, like, where's the threat actually coming from? Is it just LeBlanc poking in and we're trying to get like a big front to back ultimate from Aphelios? I feel like there's just not enough there. They've sort of built themselves into a window where there's just not enough damage to actually be able to threaten back. This is Lahan's cam. Good job. Beautiful CC, right? He's just not missing a beat when it comes to which times you have to headbutt. You have to be careful about whether or not you headbutt. You don't want to accidentally put them over the wall, but knowing that you can put them exactly on the wall always means that you'll be able to land your pulverize. And then he's just channeling the E immediately, so he's just ready for another stun to get that maximum duration. A lot of people go WQ on Alistar, not realizing that you should go EWQ, right? You want that E charging already so that there's no delay. You want to make sure that it's primed and ready so that when you jump in, the cowbells have already happened and you're ready to stun at the moment. You don't want to have to wait even a second. All right, let's take a look at the macro decision. Renekton's going to go top, pick up this wave. He's got teleport. He would not be going if he didn't have teleport. Azir, same thing with mid. They are favored in the Azir versus K'Sante matchup. K'Sante can never touch. And Poppy Alistar just gives such a wonderful line to the Kai'Sa. And I like this position compared to a 1-3-1. When we say 1-3-1, most people default to going 3 in the mid lane, right? Because we said it second, makes sense, 1-3-1. But usually this is the better setup. Because with this lead, you're trying to exacerbate advantages. You're trying to take advantage of misplays, which is something that Azir does better or Renekton does better against a sidewall, right? You don't necessarily want to be flanking into the mid because in the mid, there's so many escapes. You want to force the enemy team into these zones where there's walls so that your flanking play hits that much harder. And we just saw a case in point right there. They're able to get this wave in, get the win for themselves. They get no kills, but they get a massive HP advantage and turn that into the inhibitor for themselves. There is a wave also coming up in the top lane. Now, this could be a window. They should try to engage. If you're Gen G, you have to go all in right now. They have to commit everything. The reason being that they were able to shop. Enemy team has not shopped yet, so this is the smallest little window where you might have spent a little bit more gold than them. And you see that they're able to make a fairly even fight, aiming, flashing out, beautifully done to dodge the Rakan. It's not quite enough, but you see that KT had to play almost perfectly to make this play happen, and even though they got that, did not actually secure a full win for themselves, right? So even playing nearly perfect, chasing back, stopping backs, they still get the teleports. They have to get the teleport. Paze is able to get a kill, but it's not quite enough. Good job by Azir shuffling over. And you see, at least you made them pull tightrope walk the end, but great job, fantastic job by KT. That ties up the standings 12-1 apiece, and based on those game times, they may even win the tiebreaker when it comes down to positioning for the playoffs. So very exciting, excited to see these teams. Will be good to see Faker if he's ready for the gauntlet run in Korea, and which of these teams is going to be making it out to Worlds. But both of these teams are going to be favorites when they get there for sure, at least to make it out of groups, but probably for a deep run. KT played a fantastic match. Fantastic. Good job, guys. What'd you think? That was a fun game. Wait a second. All right, so I just typed test into the kick chat. I just need to test this out. Maybe it just won't. I don't know. Something's got to be wrong. All right, there you go. It went through, but it was severely, severely lagged. What happens if we do it here? Mic check. Mic check. Let's see if we do it here. Mic check. Let's see if we do it here. Mic check. Let's see if we weird. All right. Yeah, I don't know what's going on with that. All right, which game should we do next? Probably something in the LPL. G2's playing XL right now? LEC playoffs round 1. This is a continuation of what they did, right? G2 is a top seed. So they did play on before. Let me see. Standings. I'm not allowed to stream that, unfortunately. So regular season, we had XL. Then we just saw these play-ins, right? All these 5 and 4 teams played against each other for the remaining spots, which means I assume that we have a bottom bracket and we have a G2 in the upper bracket. And then they, as the number 1 seed, should be able to pick their opponent, which is why they're playing against XL here. I think Mad Lions was the other team that won, and they looked much stronger, so that makes sense. But yeah, I can't broadcast that. Round 1 regular season. So let's see. Billy feeling incredible, right? This team's super strong. New team up in the top. Haven't seen Suju. Suju. No. Try to do this. Top Esports, OMG, Weebill Gaming, RNG, EDG defending. Gems. Who won in MSI? Alright, it was JDG. JGG and Billy. Strong team. I didn't realize Aurelia's been around that long. Mid top. Anna, female. Already most likely to be mid, going to be ranged. Human spiritualist. It's neither of those things. And Kindred, sure. Mid bot. Can't be Zareth. Could be Zyra. Oh, this is human too? Yeah, I should have known that. What is this champion? Oh, it's going to be middle support, of course. It's going to be mid support. Alright, so that should narrow it down. Didn't realize Cass was that old either. Alright, so middle-aged or newer. Oh, Ishtal. Okay. So Kiana, no, but we need to be ranged. Who else is from Ishtal? Gosh, I don't know. This should be like a huge giveaway. Oh, Nico mid support, that would make a lot of sense. Yep, and of course, because Milio is really good friends, and they admire Nidalee, so this is almost definitely the answer. Alright, Kale top. Alright, so we got to bully a Kale. Down. Ooh, interesting. Okay. Press the attack is the most deadly. Press the attack with celerity is the one that would shut me down. It would also keep me... Swifties for here. Swifties looks pretty good in general. This looks like an AP game. I like this. Alright, the volley boss. Now, if you're really trying to climb and you absolutely want to use this resource, right, there's things like Blitz that can give you insights what's happening into the game, but also you can go in and actually check out what their runes are. And anytime you can do that, you're in a good spot. Now, I do have an Ivern at my back, and apparently the guy's smurfing 5-0 on this champion. So definitely going to play like he's always got my back. I missed the sky. Basement Dweller confirmed. Bone Plating, this is really bad against Volibear, so I'm just going to proc this for free. They do have Last Stand, and they do have Lethal Tempo, so I do have to be careful about that. What are they doing? Kind of entered this. Alright, someone on our team needs to put this ward down. Looks like Yasuo's got it for us. Yep, we're good. We're good. Someone's got to put this ward down. No one has sweeper, though. This is kind of inty. You just wait for your team. You're like, ah, my team should be here. They're not right for not being here. Oh, how did that not... Yeah, nice flash. Good. Didn't relax. Just gonna say it's great on Ivern. Keeps the Ivern well ahead of the Yi as well. Morgana going to be a pain in the butt. I like this, right? If it slows down the path without giving up anything. Now, Jhin could also push up into this area and pull the wave, right? Just jump over here, grab the minions, jump them into this. Now, if they do go for a pull and they have a harassed pull, don't need this vision. Good Master Yi, right? If she's harassing and it slows down the pull even by a little bit, then you can kind of shut the door and checkmate that lane. That's her E, right? Well, this is a little bit over pushed. There is a world where I release these last hits. I did get experience. That's wonderful. Master Yi should not be up here, and if she hits me, then I don't mind it. Oh, how did he go straight? He went 2 camps. Okay, that's fine by me. Him dying there, less good though. Ivern's gonna get the maximum out of this, hopefully. Yeah, relax, my friend. I'm on my way. Shut your mouth, dude. You're welcome. This guy has no idea what's going on. Now, level 4 versus 3. Unfortunately, that half alive minion wave was able to do the maximum. I did not need to blow my flash there, not at all. I'm tilted by Yasuo, I'm tilted by all these guys. So I need to realize, okay, I've gotten tilted. It's my own fault. I'm in control of my emotions, so I can just pull these guys back. Do this. Unfortunately, doing that is a verbal way of like kind of announcing to your team that you're tilted, and sometimes doesn't have the best effect.
An enemy has been slain.
Gonna skip that one. Full zone. Alright, there's teleport down. Now, I do want Swifties for this game no matter how I cut it. I'm happy to go get those now. Kale creating a freeze for themselves is a pain in the ass. Maybe I actually should have gone back and fought him for it. Almost definitely. I'm playing poorly. I am tilted. I can feel it in the base of my stomach, so I'm going to take a deep breath. Unclench my abs. This guy's breaking the freeze, so we're going to have an all-in to do here. Let's get an idea of where Master Yi stands. Could take this camp if I wanted. In fact, I think I will. Alright, this is worth noting. Perfect. We go for an all-in bot. I'm gonna try it. Thank you, Ivern. I appreciate you. Alright, so this game will largely be about other people. Am I actually going to go AP this game? I don't know. Good answer by Master Yi. We should just redive this thing. Yasuo's probably never going to move, though. Wasn't this the guy from last game? For IM1? Alright, let's see. Yi 1-0. Inviting him to come over here. Gotcha. My team is a little bit lacking in magic damage here. It's very tempting.
An enemy has been slain.
Rift Herald's incoming. Daisy knockup, please. Stunned. Beautiful. Do we go for 3 plates? 3 plates. 3 plates? Oh. 2 plates. You can clear the wave. Yeah, that's too bad.
An enemy has been slain. Double kill.
He flashed into it. Oh no. Yo, going for team gold here. Interesting. Did I just walk by something? Leaving the tower up. That seems like a colossal misplay. Hey.
Turret plating will soon fall.
It's all Gen. Good lead by the Jin, right? He puts her into a predictable situation. I can run up, and she either has to run in a straight line, which makes the shooting easy, or she has to run where she gets stunned. She should have continued to run and hope that Jin missed. By coming back, she just guarantees that she gets hit. I'm getting some big spikes here. Let the Jin get the turret. And that's how you take vault leads or losses with Volibear and turn them into the rest of the map. Alright, so we've got this. Let's see, what are we going to do next? I think we're going to go like that. 6 stacks on Darksteel. We'll get a Zhonya's and Nashor's Tooth, which will give us plenty of oomph. At least the Zhonya's. I don't know about the rest. But at least the Zhonya's. Bot lane needs to be a little bit careful. They are really strong. They do have Collector as well. Collector Kame is interesting. Do I use this up top right now? I think so. Kale's gone. They're probably not going to be tight on rotations. Wind wall, wind wall, wind wall, wind wall, wind wall, wind wall, wind wall. Obviously not. He's not that type of player. I don't know. Did he use wind wall up here? Either way, he's not that type of player. Unfortunately. Alright, let's see. What else do we want? Jin is getting massive, getting multiple turrets down. We get this. We get a huge influx of gold. 2 different options to play this. Either try to have enough damage to make sure that these guys pop, or try to tank, but I don't think there's a world where I can tank these guys, so I think we have to opt for the damage, but either way it might just be Zhonya's better first. Looks like Ashe is pretty tilted. Not even trying to get away from that. Alright, let's see what's next. We do this, and we get the arm guard. And we start making our way out onto the map via bot lane. Ooh, for I am one, for I am he. Dragons in 2 minutes. It actually should probably just be moving up with an Ivern to get as much of this as possible. This wave's already pushing out. Don't really need to attend to it. But I will, because doing it faster means it'll get all the way in. I'll be able to stack both waves, and we'll cover the Ivern by proxy. We do this. We're behind the Ahri. Absolutely, we go here. Hey. Got the Soraka. That guy's dead. This is dead. In fact, they might not know how dead they are here. Wait for the wave, wait for the people to get into position. And Here it goes. Hold the aggro, and we're good. I'm gonna go tank this turret. That's enough. Let's go over here and finish. My mistake by not coming straight over. Ivern parrying. Alright, we back out. We need to shop.
Your turret has been destroyed.
Oh, sorry, mate. The reason I'm not going straight over to Dragon is because I'm going to be the bodyguard. Right, so I could go and help with the damage, but my damage is fairly inconsequential, so instead I can go over here, kind of like head fake at them. Right, just the presence, it should be enough. And Morgana can also throw her W, there we go. That's all done for. Now we work our way over to the Baron. We're going to be in a really good spot. Alright, that wave is not quite going to be pushing. I'd like them to take a little more time. Ugh. I'm not as tanky as I was last game. I am okay with the Zhonya's, right? Zhonya's is actually a reasonable amount of tanking once paired with another item. So it's not like I'm strung out to dry here. I'm very fine. I'm going to go grab this wave. Oh, no, they're in. All right, they're saying in is now. They got the Yi. Yet another case study in Ivern countering Yi. Thoughts? Give it to the guy. I'd like to go pick up the wave. Do we have enough to end here? We have supers +4, +5. Kale's not trying to defend, so I think we're okay. And I've got my ult. Babu special incoming. JK, they just didn't even try to defend. I played with this guy too, Arrow of Orion. I feel like I've played with him before. There we go. The 0-2 5,000 damage carry bot lane. No, but they were winning on their own. They didn't need anything. But we shut the door, right? We completely shut the door on it. We make sure that Ashe Soraka feels like they're out of the game. They should have had a completely triumphant early game from this, but right, the bad positioning early game just goes as a testament. Level 1, right? You make some mistakes, you put walls at your back, you put yourself in a losing position. All right, I don't think we have time for another Rift just in case it goes long, but we can definitely do this. Shout out to my TFT people. What's up, guys? Say hi in the chat. Good games. Man, so yesterday we got in the mail, not in the mail, in Gmail, an email about a class action lawsuit, and it listed every single thing that I had complained about Optimum. Like, they shouldn't be allowed to get away with this, but there's no way I have enough money to ever touch it. And I saw the class action lawsuit, and it was like, yup, sign me up, please. These things should all be illegal. They were like forcing you to pay for their marketing on their bills, like not just profits. It was just like paid for by a charge on your bill, and it's like, are you kidding me? Like, why? I don't want to pay for your advertising. Out of here. Anyways, pain in the ass. What's up, guys? Class action lawsuits. Thoughts? What, good, bad? My favorite one of all time was perhaps 10 years ago after the Red Bull Give You Wings. So Red Bull gets sued and loses because someone jumps off a cliff while having a Red Bull, and family contests that they probably thought that they would have wings because the ads say Red Bull gives you wings. And anyways, person dies, family wins huge lawsuit, and they send it to everybody, be like, you could have, you know, there's a chance that you had a Red Bull. So that qualifies you for this for this litigation. And they gave you two options. You could either get a case of Red Bull, be like, we apologize, we can either give you a free case of Red Bull, or you can join in on the class action and get your piece of the share. Well, it turns out that getting your piece of the share meant getting 37 cents because everybody who signed up for it lowered it down the value to 37 cents. Felt good to be in the other side. Soraka should be able to carry this early. So yeah, we enjoyed 2 free cases of Red Bull, and I thank you, Red Bull. You do indeed give us wings. Maybe I should go Gunner here. Oh, interesting. Okay, Challenger Crest also opens up the possibility of going 8 Challengers. Normally we go here. Titan's Resolve, we've got part of it. Gain a Titan's Resolve. The problem with it stacking is it's longer till you get the bonus. Normally we just go here. We sold the Warwick and the things. Okay, we'll just do Patient Study. It's fine. Hello. No matter what, whether or not you win or lose this one, it's going to level you up to 4 here. If you level and then play, then you can go double level next round. Yeah, I'll be okay. My team's strong enough. The Soraka lineup's going to be fine. Soraka and 2-star Castodon's just exceptionally strong. I could sell these out and go for econ. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Maybe even was correct to do so. I think 2 Sorakas is just better, and also lets me get to econ. Let's take a peek at augments. We got the boss, we got trade sector, spoils, patient study, patient study. It doesn't kill you. Oh, wow. Wow. This is insane. I've never seen it. That augment's insane. Oh my gosh. Gain 2 gold every round and 4 losses gets you a component. So you get an extra full item and an extra 20 gold for going 10 loss. I guess maybe there's like a cap to how many losses you can actually get. So maybe because it caps out. Suppose. There's a world where I don't take that Soraka, by the way. Alright, so we've got such a head start on this, and we've got good items for our beginning of Ahri plus Shen, so I think we're just going to keep things as they are. We're going to go with, like, Ionic Spark. Makes sense for an Ionia comp, right? Ionic Spark and Sunfire on a Shen, maybe even Titan's Resolve, and then just build out Ahri. Don't really need to go anything. You can give items to the Karma. You might actually lose this. That's kind of wild. Oh, Power of Soraka's too strong. Ooh, nope, never mind. They got us. Healing, that right there, Soraka sucks in overtime, by the way, just heads up. And if you want to beat this composition, if you ever get, I guess it's not an option, they got rid of it, didn't they? But you could, yeah, Yumi's Zoom Zone just doesn't exist, so scratch what I was about to say. Alright, Wands and Tears. Karma with a belt is totally fine as well, because that'll give us Sunfire to put onto the Kassadin. Totally happy to do this. One of the good things about this team is it comes online, 6 Invokers, comes out at level 7. You don't need to go level 8, and then you just put Ahri in because she's just got a nice synergy for Ionia and everything else that goes on. Oh boy. Can we make this team comp with level 6 as well? This team is very good defensively, so the Gunblade tends to be a really good addition to Karma. I think I'm just going to go ahead and use it, because whether or not it's Giant Slayer or Gunblade, I'm happy with both. We also have 6 gold here, so we're just going to top off. Get ready if we need to sell. If we need to sell Cassiopeia, we can do that. No rush in getting to 6 Invokers. 6 Invokers is fantastic. So level 6, we can make this whole team now. And the fact that we're going to get another Tactician Crown at 4-5. So whether or not we hit Ahri or not may not even matter. Ahri gives us Ionia and Sorcerer, so she becomes a really good secondary carry. We don't need to care about wounding so much as we need to care about... just keeping Karma alive for the maximum amount of time. We'll focus our fire on the right side of the fight. There's a lot of people building Invokers. Okay, so Ionic Spark becomes the most important item in the game. We're going to start building some Megatron Cloaks as well to get Dragon's Claw. Although we do see Eye Edge and Giant Slayer right here. Interesting. Now these long fights, we also want to have an Archangel Staff, so I'm going to have to be worried about my total wand usage. I need at least 3 for the Karma. So if I stay level 7 now, I may not be able to get Ahri. The other Ionia would have to be who? Who would I put in their place? Anyone? Bueller? 1. Am I gonna need to fight for positions? Now this patience study is actually gonna get in my way a little bit because it's gonna fast forward me through. Level 7 is where I want to be anyways, so no rush. Level 7 plus add a random Ionia. I'm okay with this. Extra sword, kind of the worst case scenario for me. Random extra Demacia out. I am very comfortable. No need to stretch for anything. Not going to play the first place guy either anytime soon. Looks like they're using Malzahar as a way to hold items. What is bugged here? This looks like... Oh, he's got 7 Malzahars. That's what's showing up. These bars shouldn't be overlapped, though. Maybe they should. They still don't let you zoom out quite enough where people are actually able to hide. Like, if you walk up here, you see how my... Like, if you're strictly optimizing, you should just always do this. You should just always walk down here, because that way people can't look at your level. And it's like kind of an obnoxious thing that exists. Like, yeah, like, you should just do this always, right? Alright, what am I going to do with a second sword? One's going to be Gunblade, one's going to be Giant Slayer. It's not the end of the world, but it does mean I probably have to spread them out, probably get an item holder. Maybe I do use something like a Jhin as an item holder for Ahri for later. I do want the Ionia bonus very badly for Shen. Wow, oh my god, Loving Invocation is completely broken for this team comp. Already a 3-star Malz. Okay, so maybe they just keep him. Malz is significantly stronger than it was before. Normally I wouldn't consider stacking it to carry, but... This is one Ionia that can stack this bonus really quickly, right? Your team gains 2 ability power until end of combat each time your invokers cast their abilities. So she's got the fastest cast out of all of them. This one's next. Can go blue buff, although most times you just get the bonus fast enough that you don't really need blue buff. But it is nice to get that 3rd power, right? So you get the first one right away, and then you get 2nd and 3rd casts a little bit sooner. I'm going to take away the set from the Bausk, man. And so realistically, it might be the case that just playing more Invokers will always just be better than playing Ionia, but the Ionia bonus, we want it on Karma. You just don't want to show me the spell? Here. Okay. The people want to know. This sword should be on Kassadin, by the way. 100%. Now, if we get something like... Wow, if we get Lux plus Taric, we actually have a very seamless... Not transition, but like we can get out of Kassadin into Taric, into Lux. Perfect. Galio's going to be able to soak up the max from the Deadeyes. What do I want more, Tear or Wand? I think it's going to be Tear. Take this away since it's particularly good against us. This is not. We see a Shen, we might take it just for the power, but there's a Wand right there, so I absolutely want this. There's the Wand. Here we go. Tears next. Megatron Cloak would be last. Crit. Tear. Alright. In a pinch, we could go Spear of Shojin as well. Alright, speaking of putting in Ionia into play. We'll just keep this guy around. Plug him in when it's time. This guy is rolling for voids. That's going to make a really big Rift Herald when the time comes. He's going 4 Bruiser right now, so he went for a reroll team here. He's got the... I love it. It's a good setup. This guy's sitting on 1 Vi. This one has 2, right? Yeah, he picked up a Vi too. For the reroll makes a lot of sense, so no real reason to pick this up. It is a fairly slow team, so picking up the Callista actually makes a little bit of sense as well. I don't know that I ever end up putting this guy in. This is probably just a level 8, well, level 7 with this. Level 7 as a temp holder for Ari. Why is Sona stronger than Galio? That doesn't make sense to me. Tempted to actually slap the Sona right up here and surround her with 4 frontliners. Actually, probably should have done that. Put her like in an old Locket position. Season 1 Locket. Just put her right up here, surround her like a Morgana. Everybody gets the buffs, and then we would have been golden. But she can hold the spot for Lux right now while we transition. If we find Lux before we find Shen, for example. The boss. This is what we were talking about. Fairly low damage comp. And he went Challenger. Ooh, nice. Challenger emblem. Nice combination. Alright, here we go. This is what we wanted. That cost us a lot. That cost us 7 gold. The win and 2 +3s. We just stay at 7 right now and just roll to our heart's content. Found this, which means we go out of here. Poppy can hold on to these, which means Poppy gets to be my new frontline Bay. Alright, a lot of swords. Oh my goodness, okay. Now with everybody and their mothers going for Invoker, maybe I shouldn't be rolling here. Maybe I should go 8 anyways. Just take the extra roster spot. Oh, Jeweled Lotus. That would solve a lot of problems, actually. Okay. Done. Are we really this stuffed right now? At the same time, like, I need to go get these units because there's other people going for it. Yeah, I think I just need to go ham here. We are losing fights. This is not a good sign. Well, now we have 2-star Karma. I need to find Shen, though. Once I find Shen, then I can move on from Poppy Lux, which is obviously suboptimal. There's other people going for it, so there's like there's a huge argument for just going for more. There it is. I'm gonna save the tier for Ari. If we can. 6 invokers, let's see. $20, so you get 35 mana. What's the reason for not really going for blue buff? Ship out on these smaller units. 7 Sorakas, I don't know. Alright, the core of our team is put together. Now we just need defensive units. Could also go with Chalice of Power for the front line. What do we want? Tier then Wand. Wand for this. Tier then Wand, then Claw. Good. Are they transitioning? They might be transitioning. Okay, it looks like they're going to Azir. They're trying to get out of a contested spot. Nice. Okay, that's fantastic for us. Oh, right. 2 of these. Okay. I should be putting Soraka in the corner so that they draw Akshan fire. It's 10 gold right here. I don't think we gain anything from getting anything else right now. Put those back in the pool. I already have a last stand active. Crazy. Oh, it's Piltover cash out. Okay. Nice. Well, good for him. Dude's big. It's gonna be our fight. We'll see whether or not Karma surges ahead of everyone. It looks like we're winning. Kaisa gets her first big knockoff. Karma just triples up. You see her just sprint ahead when she triples up. Looks like Kaisa's just got 1 shot. This guy has 2 2-star Kaisas, by the way. Ah. Nope. Oh, it's, never mind. It's because he's copied it. That's why. That is why. Alright, we really need 2 stars now to feel good about the team. Ari will obviously send us into a whole new level. But I want to stay at 7. Do I want to stay at 7? Maybe I just save the gold up since these guys are all fighting and we're in the best position. We might just be in a really good spot. Oh boy, okay. If we do this and we miss out on crit, but we get this. Could have also gone ice cream cone. I'm a huge fan of doing that. Go here. We'll just have these to pull off. Once we do find RE. Do we go 8? If we go 8, let's see. What else do we get access to? Just as many of these, plus we get all of those. We can get Sejuani, plus we get other 8s, which we might need, especially something like Senna. Senna is particularly great. This guy went triple Goldenator. That's funny. Alright, go ham to get 9. Use Goldenator to to get all the gold back. I like it. It's a good plan. Extra Targon. We could go with this plus Ash. Oh, this guy did Hyper Roll Vi. Okay. We went Void, Malzahar, Hyper Roll, keep it up. This is probably a really good way to get top 4. He's already 8. Already spent all of his money as well. Alright, we're just gonna pre-level. We'll get 8. Give ourselves a chance at finding Aries or Heimerdingers. Better chance at finding Shen. We can go in here. What else? We get Rise as well. Having extra Invokers is only going to be good. We can also just strip out the Cassiopeia now that we don't need her. I also shouldn't have her behind the Sunfire because it's overlapping the effect. No. Belveth is a good enough carry. I told myself a long time ago I was going to put Soraka's in the corners, and I still haven't done it. Alright, we gotta go ham now. Dude, look at this thing go off. The execute threshold doesn't go. It's still at 10% HP. I don't like it. We also took away, wow, shoot. Took away Ionia. And that's a big mistake, because Karma is my carry. Well, not that good. I do have Jeweled Lotus, so I definitely should have had this out a long time ago. Alright, Galio is an inconsequential part of the comp, right? Damage reduction going to 25% is actually kind of nice, but I don't think I made it. Yeah, I just slowed down too much. I could have gone faster. Nice to see the T-Hex going crazy, though. Love this composition, right? Gunblade, you get the executes, big chunks of damage, Rageblade to get there, and then you're shrinking it, because Gunners has an issue usually with that. You can pair Gunners with Freljord, kind of a reach, but where you get Heimerdinger. This guy. This is the guy that just rushed it to 9, got a pays to learn knowledge, download patient study, just went for a fast Heimerdinger, and then goldenated his way to get everything back up. Alright, but that's going to be it for me. I got to go pick up the kids. Thanks for tuning in, guys. I appreciate you. Make sure to follow, like, and go to gigagamingacademy.com/coaching. Check out the deals that we have for the summer. There's, I don't know how to say it. If you want to get better, go check it out. Absolutely. It's 100% going to work. It's guaranteed. So make sure to check that out, and I'll catch you guys next time. Peace.